On that note, what are the other factors that will be impacting our Indian markets? We have a team of research joining in with us to set us up for trade, tell you which are the important stocks to watch out for as well in today's trading session. And, let me start first with the trade setup for the day, right? Like I was mentioning, US that closed lower. We had the inflation data point that came in as well from the US. So markets are reacting on that front. When you look at 5-day trading session, we saw FIIs, they sold around 8,300 crores, while DIIs were buyers of around 11,400 crores. Now, important cues, that are impacting our market or will impact our market or will react to that is going to be Prime Minister Narendra Modi's comments that came in from the SCO summit. Prime Minister Modi as well as President Xi Jinping. Their comments side bit positive, right? So not much of a worry over there. India's Q2 GDP, good numbers came in over there. So that is something that is a positive reaction maybe we could watch out for on that note. US retail inflation, that's the data point. Other than that, Prime Minister Modi is likely to meet President Putin. So key updates, if anything, comes in on that front. Also today, we do have, the auto data that will come in as well for sales data for the month of August. So we'll be seeing auto companies reacting to that. And we have the manufacturing PMI data, HSBC manufacturing PMI data that is expected today as well. Now, Nifty obviously last week slipped 2%. Steepest fall that we saw in 5 months, but implied open as of now because of these cues. Slight but positive, 33-point uptick is what we are watching out for. But let's move on that note and go across to Sudarshan, who is joining in with us to tell us, the cues in the world of F&O now. What are we watching out for? Good morning, Sudarshan.
Good morning, Winnie. So I'll give you just 3 headlines from the data that we are getting over the weekend and last week. So first headline that we may continue to see a range bound of trade. Second, FI selling has only increased. In the month of August, we saw FI selling more than rupees 46,000 crore. But good part was DIs have bought more than rupees 90,000 crore. And last is FI long exposure is at multi-month lows. On Friday, we saw long exposure has slipped to around 8.6%. So if there is any positive news flow, I won't be surprised if there is a sharp short covering. Now talking about the Friday session, we saw Nifty slipping below the all-important level of 24,500, and at the end, it closed near day's low. And along with Reliance, we saw weakness in financials also. That was the reason Nifty Bank also slipped, and even weakness was seen in Nifty IT. As far as today's session is concerned, GIFT Nifty is indicating a start with minor gains. On Friday, in the cash market, we saw FI selling more than 8,000 crore, but it was fully offset by DIs, which have bought more than rupees 11,000 crore. Even in the index futures, we saw FI selling more than rupees 1,200 crore, and they have added minor long positions of 1,600 contracts. But if you see short position addition, there we saw addition of more than 8,000 contracts. And as I told you, FI long exposure now slipped to 8.6%. Take a look at the options data. On the call side, 2 options were very healthy, 24,500 and 24,550. They have seen a huge option build-up, but there was a sharp fall in the premium. So it tells you that it's very difficult for Nifty to cross the level of 24,500, at least at this point. As far as the put options were concerned, 24,400 and 24,450 options were healthy. And there we saw option build up, but at the same time, there was a minor addition. There was a minor increase in the premium. Now, support for Nifty, 24,400. If we slip below that, next support comes around 24,330. Resistance, 24,687. 3 stocks, Reliance Industry, AGM announcements were very positive, so I would be surprised if there is buying. M&M, it was weak ahead of monthly auto sales. And lastly, ITC continued to see buying on the news flow related to GST.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for that. Keeping an eye on the stocks over there, as well as in terms of the support, as well as the resistant levels. But let's move on and go across to Gaurav, who's here to list out which are the important stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Good morning, Gaurav.
Well, good morning. First, let's talk about IndusInd Bank. A negative news flow is what we can say here, because now shareholders have rejected promoters' bid to nominate an additional nominee director on the board. 54% of the shareholders voted against this resolution, as proxy advisor had raised some concerns and observations. Other than that, RBL Bank is in focus because now board has approved fundraising in the tune of 6,500 crore rupees. It will be 3,500 crore rupees via QIP and 3,000 crore rupees via debt securities. Now remember, this is an enabling approval from the board. NCC Limited is in focus because company has received an order worth 788 crore rupees, and this order is specifically in the water division of the company. BML is also in focus, and this is because because company has received an order worth 80 crore rupees for utility track vehicles from railways. Aurobindo Pharma, this company is also in focus today, and the reason being US FDA recently concluded its inspection at one of the facilities in Telangana, and they have given Form 483 with 5 observations. And lastly, let's also focus on Ather Energy, because company has unveiled its EL platform, where they will be launching their next generation scooter platform built for versatility, scalability and cost optimization during the Ather Community Day 2025. So definitely all these stocks are going to be on focus today.
Okay, Gaurav, thank you so much for that. But